But let me just first say thanks for coming. Welcome to our first math advising research registration, information extravaganza. So I'm just kind of looking at who's coming in. I think I've more or less had some conversations with each of you, which is great. So the plan for today is to go through first, compare our different BS options and our different concentration areas, talk about the minor in math, then go through our upper division course offerings in the spring, and then to talk about some of our new data science minor certificates, our undergraduate applied stats certificate, our BS/MS programs, and then I'm hoping that we'll have some time at the end for questions or to hear from all of you. Let's see how many people are on here. There's not that many, so maybe I'll just ask everybody just to say hi so we can see each other. I'm going to turn this off, put us on gallery. So if you're someplace where you can put your camera on, that's great. If you're not, that's fine. So I'll start by introducing myself. So welcome, everyone. I'm the undergrad advisor for the Department of Math and Statistics, and I also am the co-director of the undergraduate programs. And I see that our distinguished chair is joining us as well. So you want to say hello, Julian?
Yeah, I just want to say hi to all the students and thanks for coming. Thanks for Adam for doing the event. It's great to see so many people. Actually, it's good. So I'm going to tag along during the events. Adam is going to run the show mostly. I hope I won't be too needed, but I'm here, and my goal is to learn as well and refresh my memory on the program and all that. So that's why I'm here. And welcome everybody. Oh, by the way, if you have any concern about the program or any questions or anything, I'm a good resource, so you can always contact me. I'm available. Okay, so don't hesitate to send me an email. And I'm the chair of the department, so I'm a point of contact for you. Nice to meet you all.
Okay, thanks, Julian. Yeah, and so just kind of the first point to make out is pretty much everything that we're going to talk about today is up online. So below is the link to the website for our undergraduate program. So there you can find more detailed information than we'll have today, just so you know. Okay, so we do have a math building, although we're all separate here. I believe we'll be back there one day, hopefully not too far off. So if you're kind of looking at the slide, in the top left, that's Student Commons building. So that's where the math department is located on the 4th floor. There's a little, to the right of that is a little shot inside Student Commons. And then on the bottom is a picture that we'll no longer have because I believe there is a big dorm that's going to be on that soccer field when we're back on campus. Yeah, and here is a picture from maybe about a year or so ago of faculty and some grad students in the math department. So we do have a building, we do have a department. We're just separated, but we'll all be back together hopefully soon. Okay, so I'm thinking of breaking down the courses like this. So for our majors, we have a BS in mathematics, or you can choose a concentration area to go along with that. And I'll explain what is the distinction in these different concentration areas. So this slide here is going to go over the courses that you would need that are required for any math BS that you're going to take, whether it's without a concentration area or with a concentration area. So Math 1376, this is, I had to truncate it, it's called Programming for Data Science. So this is a new course that we are teaching for the first time in the fall, right now, this semester. And this is a Python programming class with a focus on applications in data science. So this is really the on-ramp into our data science program. And it's also a course that all math, whether you're in a data science program or not, we want all of our majors to have some programming experience. So this is a programming requirement. Some of you might have declared a little bit earlier and taken the computer science 14, 10, 14, 11, and that counts as well towards this requirement. There are no course prerequisites, but it is expected that you have a background in problem solving and algebra, intermediate algebra. And I'll talk some more once we get into the courses about how this course is going to be offered in the spring. So all of these courses that we're going to talk about today are all going to be offered in the spring. So then we've got calculus, various paths to place into that. So there are 3 semesters of calculus. Math 3000 is Introduction to Abstract Math. So this is where you learn a lot about proof techniques and some of the theory about how we can prove things in mathematics. The prerequisite for that is Calc 2. There is Applied Linear Algebra. The prereq for that is also Calc 2. And if you are curious, if you've seen a couple of different linear algebra courses that we offer, there's another one. I'll talk about the distinction between this class and Math 3195. But the short answer is, if you are a math major, then you should be taking Math 3191. Statistical theory. Also, all of these classes require, statistical theory requires Calc 3. And real analysis requires Math 3000 and calculus background. And I think the last one that is on here is Math Clinic. And Math Clinic, we can talk about this in a little bit more as well. This is sort of like a capstone class, meaning that this is a nice class to take towards the end of your degree. So usually students take this their last year, since this is a project-based class. And so the more you're exposed to, the more math you're exposed to in your classes, the better prepared you'll be for this course. So no matter what concentration area you may choose or not, this set of classes are going to be required for all of our BS degrees. Any questions at this point? And if you don't declare a concentration area, you go with a Math BS, then in addition to this set of classes, you have 5 upper division math electives that you can choose, with a couple of exclusions. So with the Math BS, the general Math BS, you're free to choose any one of those 5 classes, and you can take some stat classes, you can take some applied classes, and you can mix and match. Okay, so beyond the general Math BS, we have 3 different concentration areas that you can choose. So that previous slide, you would need to take all of those classes. The big distinction is with the electives. So in each of these concentration areas, we have picked a couple of electives that would be really critical if you want to focus on one particular area of mathematics. So for the applied math concentration area, you don't have any 5 classes that you can choose. If you want to have a background in applied math, you really need to have differential equations. That's Math 3200. And partial differential equations is Math 4733. And numerical analysis, which is Math 4650. And then you can pick 2 other classes as you like. And for the probability and statistics concentration, pretty similar. It's just a different set of 3 classes that you have to take. So Math 4810, that is probability. Math 4387 is regression analysis. And then you have kind of like a mini elective. You have a prob stat elective where you can choose from one of the courses that are listed in the bullet below. And then you have 2 other that I'll call general math electives, but these have to be upper division courses. And new to this year, we have a data science concentration area that we're really excited about. And that concentration area has 2 courses that are required. So Math 3376, we'll talk about that shortly. That is data wrangling and visualization. Math 4387 is the regression analysis, and then you have 3 other math electives that you can choose. Was there a question, Nicole?
Oh, no, sorry about that.
Okay. No problem. Yeah, I didn't mean to pick on Nicole. Does anybody have a question? Okay, so these are the BS. We have these 3 concentration areas, or you can, go your own route and not choose a concentration area. And one additional requirement here is if you have a concentration area, you need to have what we'll kind of call like a mini minor, since in any of these fields, applied math, probability statistics, data science, you are very likely to apply these techniques in some area. So the goal here is to give you a background in another field which you might want to apply these skills to. So you've got 9 credits that you need to take towards an approved subject area, and I've got those listed on the next slide. So just be aware of that. This is not a requirement for the general math BS without a concentration area. You don't need to take these courses towards another subject area, but for a concentration area, you do. And so these are generally speaking, the approved subject areas that most of our students choose, though if you have another interest, we're happy to fit that into your plan. You just need to get some approval. And I will say, for those that have been using the degree audit, this requirement is hard for the degree audit to capture because there's just so many possibilities, but it has been doing it from what I can see. So that's great. If you're taking these classes and you're not seeing them appear for that requirement in the degree audit, then you can just let me know and we can update that. And one common question that I get with this is that it's not that you can take one biology class, one economics class, and a sociology class. You need to take all 9 of those credits in one of those subjects. And as far as what that course is, that's totally up to you. It just needs to be a course that can count towards that major.
And Adam, this requirement is for all options, or even the general one, or just the applied math, or just which options are subject to this?
Yeah, so this is for if you choose one of those 3 concentration areas. So if you choose the applied math concentration area, the probability statistics one, or the data science, this is required for those degrees. If you are not picking a concentration area, then you don't need to, this is not a requirement. Then you just need to focus on your math classes and you don't need to have a mini minor, we can call it.
Okay, thanks. And so, as you say, it's probably possible for the student to get a minor out of those 9 credits.
Yeah, so I would say minors typically are 5 or 6 classes, depending on the department. So if you take 3 classes, then it might just be another 2 or 3 classes to get a minor. And so I just see there was a question, can I have more than 1 minor? Certainly. We just require that you pick one, but you're more than welcome to do more. Yep. Okay, so that's kind of the big picture for our bachelor's degrees. Yeah, and there is another sort of bachelor degree, which is our dual degree program where you can earn a BA in economics and a BS in mathematics. So this is kind of like, it's the same sort of requirements as the general math BS, with one caveat that rather than having any 5 upper division courses that you can take, one of those electives needs to be differential equations. That's very useful in economics, so they want you to be sure to take that course. And what's really nice about this option is you can save yourself 6 credits. So you can, there's a list of approved econ electives. If you click on the link here, it would take you there. There's maybe about 4, I think it's more 5 or 6 econ classes that you can select from, and we'll count those as an elective for the math BS. Econ will count it as an elective for their BA, and then you can do the same with one of your math electives. So as long as you pick a math elective from an approved list, that elective will count towards both your BS in math and your BA in econ. So that's a really nice option if you're interested in the kind of overlap between math and economics. You can, in 4 years, you can come out with 2 bachelor's degrees, and you save yourself 6 credits worth of courses as well. Any questions about that? And if you are in that program, I will just say that how the advising works is, the math advisor will handle your math BS, and an economics advisor will handle your advising towards the economics degree. Okay, and just some other notes, just generally this applies to all of our bachelor's degrees, that you need a C- or above in order for the course to be counted towards the major. Now with this modified P plus PF policy that we have this semester, that means P plus would work as well. So if anyone has switched to that, don't worry, as long as you get a C-, that would convert to a P plus, and that would count towards a requirement. There is a GPA requirement of 2.25 in all of your math courses that count towards the major. And then there is a mathematics major field subject test that we ask students to complete in their last semester, and also complete a senior survey. So I will just say that these 2 things are really useful for our department to get some feedback on how our students are doing, things that they liked, things that we could be doing better. So it's really useful for us to get this feedback from you, but these are not things you need to worry about until the semester that you're graduating. And in addition to that, just be aware that there are some residency requirements. I'll just list them down below. And again, all of this information you can find on our website. Okay. Any questions about those requirements?
I actually do have a question, sorry.
No problem.
What is it is a minimum of 30-hour of resident credit. What is that?
That means credits taken at CU Denver.
Oh, okay, thank you.
There's a question in the chat box too.
Let's see.
Is the MFAT a hard test?
Oh, I've never taken it. So I don't know. It is, it's a 2-hour test. I would imagine that some of it we'll find easier than others. There might be some questions on things that you've never taken actually. So,
And there is another question from Suha. I've already watched it, and yeah, I watched it. So the thing that is, so it's not easy. It's not hard. It's about what you would expect from someone taking a class. Typically, if you have a question, so there probably will be out of, I forgot how many questions. I think it's 20 questions, 20 times 2. And out of the 20 questions, there are probably a few questions of, for example, modern algebra. And so if you never take the class of modern algebra, there is just no way you can answer this, which is fine. There is a few questions about number theories from time to time. So there is a few questions where you're really going to get stuck, which is fine because you didn't take the class. That happens. It's specially designed for math majors. So please expect a question on real analysis, linear algebras, some question of calculus, things like that.
Yeah, and there's no grade that you need, there's no score that you need to get in order to graduate. We just ask that you do the best that you can. And then we use that data to help inform like what content do our students seem to be doing well in, what areas did they not do well in, not that it's your fault, what are some things that we could be doing better to improve that. Okay, so I don't know if anybody here was thinking about the minor, but since we're recording this, there might be some people watching that are. So for the minor, we require 6 classes. That would be 3 semesters of calculus. So those are each 4 credit classes. And then 3 upper division math electives. They're electives, so that means you are free to choose which 3 courses you would like. I'll just say that at least 2 of the courses need to be taken at CU Denver. So if you come in with Calc 1, 2, and 3 and linear algebra, that's great. We'll take all of those, but you need to take 2 classes with us. And for anyone that might be in engineering or in philosophy, or if you're minoring, just know that these courses are slash listed. And if you enroll in them, we will count them whether you enroll in the math section or whether you enroll in the philosophy section. So it doesn't matter to us, and the degree audit will pick that up as well. And so if you go to the link on the bottom here, we have some suggested paths through the minor. So you might want to look at that to see some common paths that students have done, but you're free to go, build your own path through those electives. Okay, so next I want to go through some of information about the courses, but are there any general questions about the major or the minor? We have another minor in data science. I'll get to that shortly. So for these core classes, and these are the courses that are required, no matter what concentration area you might decide, this is all information for the spring. So Math 3000, we're going to be running 3 sections are planned in the spring. One is going to be remote on Zoom. One will be online, and one is going to be a hybrid class. And the prereq for that, again, is Calc 2. Math 3191, we're also going to have 3 sections of that in various formats. You can see those here. And yeah, that has Calc 2 as a prereq. Statistical theory, we have 2 remote Zoom sections. One of them is a Monday, Wednesday. One of them is a Tuesday, Thursday. And the prereq for that is Calc 3. And then for real analysis, we have 1 section in the spring. And if you're curious, Bert Simon will be teaching that. So if you have some questions about real analysis, you're welcome to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Bert as well. And then the last one is Math Clinic. So we are offering 1 remote Zoom section of that, taught by Amy Fournier. And down below is actually, I didn't know this link existed, is a really nice link with a whole bunch of information about Math Clinic. Since that is, let me open that up, since that's often a very common question. It's kind of a weird named course. Think it's over here. Yeah, so here is the site. So this kind of explains what happens in Math Clinic. I'm not going to go into all of this unless you want me to, but I just want to point out that the information is here. And what's really nice to look at. I believe there should be a listing in here of the various projects that they've done recently. I think it's over here, maybe.
If you go to the project table, so if you
Yes.
go back to that first page and then up at the top next to the home
thank
button, yeah, right
Yes,
there.
awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so here is some of the projects that they've done recently. So these were two that were done last semester in the spring. So if you're kind of curious to see what sorts of things they've done in the past, just know that there's a link with all of this information. Okay, so any questions about these core classes? And these are courses that we run every semester, and oftentimes in the summer. Maybe not Math Clinic over the summer, but these other courses frequently run in the summer. But we can't promise that's going to happen. That depends on student demand. But they're likely to run in the summers. Okay, so yeah, what's up with these different linear algebra options? Math 3191, this is the course that all Math BS degrees require. Math 3195 is a combo of linear algebra and differential equations. So it's some content from Math 3191, some content from Math 3200. You know, if anyone has taken either of those, there's a nice overlap in those two courses. So this is, I would say, mainly intended for engineering students that have a really jam-packed schedule. So we've combined these into one class. But certainly you can take this class if you are minoring or using one of the certificates. It can count towards those, but just be very, very aware that there are some co-credit policies that you can't get co-credit for 3195 and 3191, and the same with differential equations. So the short story is, if you're majoring in mathematics or one of the concentration areas, then you should be taking Math 3191. And then don't take 3195 after you've taken Math 3191. Okay, so I tried to group the courses that we're offering in the spring as best I could into kind of some baskets by their discipline. So first I'll go through the applied courses, and then we'll go through some of the other concentration areas. So for the applied courses, there's Math 3200, that's differential equations, and we have 2 sections running next semester for that. And this is required for the applied math concentration or the dual degree econ degree. Otherwise, you can take it as an elective. And I would say Math 3200 is pretty safe, that we're going to run usually about 2 sections every semester, and it is likely to run over summer as well, often, but not guaranteed. And numerical analysis is also required for the applied math concentration. So we are offering 1 remote Zoom section with Jan Mandel in the spring. And the prerequisite for that is linear algebra, either 3191 or 3195. And then so these classes are all running in the spring. Partial differential equations we're running in the spring. Just be aware that this class does not run every semester. We run it in the spring. So that's something, if you're in the applied math concentration, that's something you should be aware of and plan for. You have to take Math 4733, so you should plan to take that in the spring. And I will say the prerequisites are Math 2421 and Math 3200. It certainly helps if you've had some exposure into Math 3000. Okay, any questions about this grouping of applied courses. Then we've got one more on the next slide, actually. So this is, I didn't know where to put this. It falls in, I mean, it's hard to sometimes place these courses into one basket. So this is, graph theory is a great subject area. It has applications all over the place. And it also has a lot of really nice theory involved. So this is an elective. This is running in the spring. Flo is going to be teaching this remotely on Zoom. And this is not a course that we run every semester. So if you're interested in this, definitely jump on that opportunity. It's something that can be used as an elective in any of your concentration areas, or if you aren't having a concentration area. Okay, so I would say these are kind of the main applied sort of courses. Next, I want to just go through some of the probability, statistics, and data science courses. So we've got Math 4800, that's the probability course that would be required if you're doing the probability stat concentration area. We have one section running remotely in the spring. And here's another situation where we kind of have two courses that seem like they have some overlap. So Math 3800 is probability and statistics for engineers. If you're majoring in math, that's another course that you should stay away from. And instead, if you want to learn some probability, then take Math 4810. You can use this towards the minor or some of our certificates. And yes, I think it's here. There is a no co-credit policy with these two courses, so keep that in mind. If you're minoring in math, you can certainly take Math 3800, then don't take probability, take another elective. Okay, and we have a kind of similar breakdown between more rigorous and maybe a little less rigorous with our regression courses. So regression, this kind of falls in almost every branch as well. So I don't want to say this falls in this branch or that branch. I would say this falls in any of our concentration areas. But this is required for the data science and the probability and statistic concentration areas. We have one section running in the spring. And so this is the course that if you're a math major and you want to get some exposure to regression, then you should be taking Math 4387 after you've taken statistical theory. And I would say it is essentially a continuation of that course. So it would really make sense to take this right after you've taken 3382. Okay, and then we have Math 4830, which is called Applied Statistics. And I would say this is more of a continuation from Math 2830, which is an intro to statistics class that's really intended for a more general audience. And so Math 4830 doesn't require calculus. It's not as rigorous as 4387. So we don't allow this for the major to count towards the major. We certainly allow it for our minor and certificate programs. And there's also a no co-credit policy with these two courses. So again, if you're majoring, 4387, if you're minoring, you can choose whether you want to go a little more rigorous or whether you want to focus a little bit more on the applications. Okay, and so those regression courses certainly fall in the realm of data science as well. And so for the data science courses running in the spring, we're running programming for data science. We ran it this semester for the first time. We have two sections running in the spring. One of them is online and one of them is remote. This semester, Troy Butler is teaching it, and he will be teaching the online section in the spring. And so if you have any questions, you know, you're welcome to reach out to me, but Troy would be the best contact for that. And kind of the continuation of that course would be Math 3376, which is data wrangling and visualization. So we're running this in the spring for the very first time. We're really excited about this class. Josh French is going to be teaching online section of this course. And so the requirements for this course are Math 1376 and some statistics class. And I will say that there may be some of you that have taken computer science 1410, 1411, and so you didn't need 1376. You can certainly take the data visualization and wrangling course if you have some computer programming. So it doesn't have to be 1376 necessarily. If you're worried about whether you have the right programming background, then I would just encourage you to contact Josh French and just make sure you have the right background for that course. The statistics background that you need, that could be Math 2830. I don't think anybody here is probably down that path, but if you're watching at home, you certainly could take Math 2830 and programming, go into this class. Okay, you could have taken statistical theory and then 1376 and take this class. And so this course might be taught in R, might be taught in Python, might be taught in some language that comes around in a couple of years. The plan in the spring is it's going to be mainly taught using R. Whereas 1376 is taught using Python, but it's the same logic, different syntax. And so if you're interested going into data science, I would say it's really important for you to have a background in both of those languages if you can, before you hit the job market. And then a third data science offering in the spring. Right now it's listed as Math 4027, which is topics in mathematics. The topic is going to be Introduction to Statistical Machine Learning. Yanin Lu will be teaching that in the spring remotely over Zoom. And the prerequisite for that course is some previous course with regression. So that might be, sorry, there's a typo here. This should be 4830. Let me fix that. So the requirements there are regression. Okay, there we go. So that's Math 4830 or Math 4387. If you're going down the major route, then that's probably Math 4387. Okay, so that actually handles all of the math upper division courses that we're running in the spring. So are there any questions about any of the courses we've got up here, or maybe something that we haven't spoken about?
Oh, I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
For Math 3376, did you say that was, has that been a course that's been going on for years now, or is that just introduced this year?
That is brand new.
Oh, brand new. Okay.
Yeah, so we just created that course and it's going to be taught for the very first time in the spring.
Sweet.
Yeah, I would say if you're thinking about going into data science, whether you pick that as your concentration area or not, that's really a foundational course. You need to know how to clean up data and manipulate it and yeah, do some exploratory data analysis. Yeah. Okay, and so I've had a couple of people email me about this class. You might have seen this listed as math courses being offered in the spring. This is not a course that is intended for math majors. I don't even think you would be able to enroll in this course because it has several prereqs that you're not likely to have taken. So this is really intended for education students. If you are interested in going down that route, then this would be a great class. But it's really intended for people that are getting some licensing in education. And so this class cannot be counted as an elective towards the Math BS. It can't be counted as an elective towards a minor. And like I said, I think even if you try to enroll in this class, it's very likely that you don't have the prerequisites for it. Okay, so for our new data science programs, in addition to the concentration area that you can choose for a BS, you can get a minor in data science. So, you know, one thing that is certainly possible is I am getting a BS in, I don't know, applied math, but I also am interested in data science. You could get a minor in data science. So there's nothing that excludes you from getting a minor in data science. If you're getting a BS in math, I would say if you're getting the data science concentration area, then it wouldn't make sense to also minor in data science. But the requirements are 6 classes, just like the minor in mathematics. It's just a very different set of 6 classes. So there's no calculus requirement for the minor in data science, for example. So it's very possible to go through these requirements without taking calculus. So that's kind of the nice feature for people in other disciplines is you can jump right into this, take math 2830 and get going right away. But we kind of think about these requirements as being in boxes. So there's like a statistics requirement, there's a regression requirement, and in each of these, there's like a calculus-based version or non-calculus-based version. Programming class, and then Math 3376. And then you can pick 2 electives from a rather long list of courses that are, a number of which are in other disciplines. So that might be something attractive for students that are majoring in another area. Some of those courses you could double count towards a data science minor. And very similar to that is our certificate in data science essentials. And so really the main distinction here is this is 4 classes. You don't have 2 electives that you would take. But the boxes otherwise are pretty similar. You have take a statistics class, modeling course, programming class, and you need to know how to wrangle data.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do a minor in data science and you're like doing a BS in math,
Mhm.
that means that for the statistics class, you have to do 2830 or 3800, right? You can't double stack your.
No. So you could double count it. So
Oh, you
for,
can?
yeah, you would. So if you're majoring in math, then you have to take 3382, and you definitely shouldn't take math 3800 in that case. I mean, there's some material in 3800 that is different from 3382, but with 3382, that's fine. You can count it towards the minor, you can count it towards the major, you can't count it towards anything else. So CLAS has rule that you can double count courses towards 2 degrees or a general requirement, but you're not allowed to triple count things.
Oh, I see. Awesome.
Yeah, so I would say like one really subtle thing that you need to watch out for when you're double counting things is this also being used as a general requirement? Like, am I using this for a CLAS requirement? Then you might run into trouble. So, you know, how that might happen is I've taken math 1401. I want to use that for my major. I want to use it for a minor for some reason. Now I can't use it to fill the math core requirement because it's been used twice already.
Oh, I see. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions about the data science programs?
Yeah, for those who didn't take 1376 but instead took 1410 and 1411, would that count as a requisite, or wouldn't that
Yes.
count?
Yes, we would make an exception for that. Yes.
There was also a question in the chat.
Thank you. What do we have here? Yes. So, does that help answer your question? Feel free to ask away if I didn't answer your question. What I didn't explain is how do you apply for this and when do you get it? So since this is new, we're working on the application right now. So the process for now is email math advising that will come to me and just declare your intent to get the certificate. And then once your requirements are done, I certify that, or whoever is the math advisor is going to certify that. And you can get those credentials immediately. You don't have to wait until you finish your bachelor's degree to get that certificate. But I would say if you are, getting the concentration area in data science or minoring in data science, then it really doesn't make sense to get the certificate. So these are kind of small, medium, and large in terms of how much data science are involved.
I got a question regarding that ISMG course.
Yeah.
I pulled up the course description and it says it's restricted to business majors.
Yes.
Is there a way around that? Like, let's say I wanted to take it, will I be able to?
So the reason why we allowed that course as a programming course is we felt like there would be interest in the business school for some of their students to get this certificate. So that's why we counted that class. I would say if you're not in a business program, then it would make more sense for you to take Math 1376 for that programming requirement. Because there's no prereqs for that. And that course is going to be focused on programming applications to data science.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay. So yes, I think pretty much we're almost running out of time here. We're just about done. So the kind of last thing I just wanted to talk about were our 5-year BS/MS programs. So these are really great. This is awesome. In 5 years, you can not just get a bachelor's, you can come out with a master's degree. I would say if you're taking a traditional route through a master's degree, your bachelor's takes 4 years, your master's is likely to take 2 years, maybe more. So here you can shave off some time. And the reason why is we get you taking some graduate courses while you're an undergraduate, and those courses can count towards both your BS and your MS. So we have 2 of those programs. One is MS in statistics, which we're looking at here. One is an MS in applied mathematics. We'll take a look at that in a second. And so if you are interested in doing this, I would encourage you to apply sooner rather than later so that you can plan your schedule and how you're going to fit in those graduate courses accordingly. So you want to be sure that you maximize the double counting that you can do, and the earlier you apply, the easier it will be to plan for that. So for the statistics, MS in statistics 5-year program, you could apply after you've taken linear algebra, intro to abstract math, and statistical theory. And you're very much encouraged to do so because maybe the next class you might take is regression analysis, and we would like to enroll you in the graduate regression analysis course that you can then double count towards both of those degrees. 3.0 GPA is required, and if you are interested in applying, I have Josh's contact information at the end. You would contact Dr. French. He's our director of our statistical programs. And it's very similar process with the BS/MS in applied math. Same double counting. The earlier, if you're interested in this, the earlier you apply, the easier it will be for you to plan accordingly. And for this one, rather than statistical theory, we would like you to have linear algebra, intro to abstract math, and real analysis complete before you apply. It's a 3.0 GPA in your math courses, and this application process actually goes through the graduate program as opposed to our statistical program. So for this, you would contact Dr. Stefan Borgwart and just mention that you're interested in applying, and he will take it from there. It's, you know, there's no deadline for the applications in case it's kind of a running deadline. So anytime you're interested in applying, you can contact the person who will help you through the process. Any questions about those? Okay. So let's see what's left over here. Okay. Yeah. Just quickly wanted to comment on departmental honors. What are the requirements for that? So we've got 3 levels. The cum laude level you can get with a 3.7. And I will just say these GPAs are based on your upper division math courses. So the degree audit actually doesn't calculate this GPA. So if you're ever curious about how close am I to this cutoff or whatever, you can just send me an email and I can do that calculation for you. When you let me know that you're graduating, I do those calculations for everybody, and then I contact the people that have that can qualify for honors to let them know about this. And so there are kind of 2 options for each of these honors levels. That is, you can do it based on your GPA alone, or you can, if you have a slightly lower GPA and you still want to get the honors, for example, if you have a 3.6 and you didn't meet the 3.7, you can do an honors project to get honors. And so that's why I would contact students. The sooner you let me know that you're graduating, I can let you know what your GPA is, and then you can start to plan accordingly if you want to do a project. So for magna cum laude, it is slightly higher GPA, but you can get that level without doing a project, or you can choose to do a project. For our highest level of honors, we require that you do an honors project. So for that level, it's a 3.7 GPA and an honors project. And then for a highest level of honors, that's subject to departmental vote. So if you have a really good honors project, that goes a really long way. If you've done some extracurricular activities in the department, we definitely take that into account as well. Okay, so if you are interested in reaching out to people in the department, I just wanted to collect some of the useful contacts. So up top are various people in the math department. I will just say, I mean, I think I've contacted with all of you. I kind of have 2 separate email addresses. The math advising emails go to me in a shared email. So if you do have questions, advising related questions, I would prefer that they go into the math advising email. And then on the bottom, you have Josh and Stefan's contact information. So that would be useful if you're thinking about one of these graduate programs. And so we've got Julian here. Stephen Harkey is our associate chair, and Diana White and I are both the co-directors for the undergraduate program. And if you've done any advising sessions, I should mention it's really important to know that the math advising, which is me at the moment, I just do the checks for your math BS or your math minor or certificate. I don't look over your general requirements. We ask, you know, they have CLAS advisors that focus on those requirements. So if you're a math major, it's very likely that Jonathan Colon is your advisor in CLAS. If he's not, he's great. He's kind of the math contact in CLAS, so he knows the most about the math programs, I would say, out of all the advisors there. And Lydia is great too. So Lydia does a lot of the advising for the econ majors, and that overlaps. If you're in the dual degree program, you're likely to have Lydia as your CLAS advisor. And if you're not sure who your CLAS advisor is, then there's a general email below. And at the back here, we just have a couple of useful links. So all of this information and much, much more is on the undergraduate homepage. If you're ever curious about course descriptions or scheduling, you can go to the second link here for math course information, and you can see previous semester schedules if you're curious to look through to get a sense of what semester some courses might be offered. There's a CLAS advising website, and I just wanted to leave my link for where the undergraduate advising goes. So if you ever have any questions and you want you don't want to set up an appointment, then you're welcome to drop in any of those 2 times. I'll be on Zoom, just sitting there staring at a blank screen, waiting for somebody to have some advising questions. Otherwise, you're welcome to set up an appointment and we can meet at another time. That's fine too. And lastly, down here is MERC stands for Math Education Resource, something or other. What's the C, Julian?
Center.
Center, thank you. So this is free tutoring that is run by math undergrads or grad students. So I would say if you go to this link, some of the information, I'll just caution you, is not up to date. I'll just show you what it looks like. I think it's over here. So this is what the page looks like. And really what you, while we're remote at the moment, what's most useful would be using these office hours. So if you're in an upper division math course, I would suggest using one of the grad students to help you. If you're in, a 1,000, 2,000 level class, certainly anybody could help you. The undergrad or the grad students could help you. But if you want some help and your, teacher's office hours aren't working, you want to talk to somebody quickly, this is a great resource to go to. Okay, I think we did it. I think that is almost done in an hour. Sorry, I was 2 minutes over. So thanks everyone for your time. If you do have any questions or you have any hey, could you try and help us organize this sort of event, or if there's anything at all that we can be doing for you, please feel free to reach out to me by email. Is the best way to get in touch. Otherwise I will see some of you in class, or I'll see some of you in advising. But feel free to stick around if you have some questions.